You won't believe what just happened in Hollywood. Gal Gadot just delivered a verbal knockout so sharp, it could end Rachel Zegler's career. And she did it right in front of Disney executives. Leaked footage is blowing up online. And trust me, once you see it, you'll understand why Rachel's agents might be avoiding her calls. This isn't just celebrity drama. It's a masterclass in power, PR, and survival in the cutthroat world of Hollywood. Stick around, because what happened next? Absolutely shocking. You won't believe this. Gal Gadot just delivered a verbal knockout that could very well mark the end of Rachel Zegler's career, and she did it right in front of Disney executives. The footage, which leaked just yesterday, is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Honestly, once you watch it, you'll understand why Rachel's agents might be dodging her calls as we speak. The actress who was supposed to become Disney's next shining star? Checkmated by what feels like a real-life evil queen, and watching it unfold was painfully intense. Hey everyone! If you've been tracking the Snow White fiasco, you know this saga has been a total disaster. But this leaked interview? It flips the script entirely and exposes the raw underbelly of Hollywood politics. We're not just talking celebrity drama anymore, this is a whole new level of power play. What we're witnessing here is nothing short of a career assassination cloaked in professionalism. I've got insider intel, leaked Disney emails, and some genuinely unsettling details about what really went down behind closed doors. And trust me, this was far more strategic and calculated than anyone outside the studio could have imagined. Buckle up, because this is the kind of peek behind Hollywood's curtain that changes everything. When Gal Gadot stepped onto the press tour, the contrast was immediately striking. Rachel seemed tense, tossing subtle jabs at Prince Charming, dismissing the original story as outdated, and acting like she'd been forced into the role. Gal? She radiated calm, smiled effortlessly, praised the story's legacy, and delivered answers that were measured, thoughtful, and undeniably classy. It was like watching two actors from completely different worlds. The moment that really set tongues wagging happened during an interview about Rachel's controversial "Snow White doesn't need a man" remarks. Rather than defend or validate it, Gal masterfully pivoted. She spoke about the enchantment of the original tale, the respect she held for its history, and framed her responses with such finesse that it left everyone watching stunned. Gal Gadot admitted she loved playing the evil queen, citing the character's rich legacy. But then she casually added that she even enjoyed working with Rachel. That tiny remark had fans scrambling to read between the lines. Because let's be real, when someone says, "I even enjoyed working with her," it rarely radiates genuine warmth. It's polite shade at its finest, basically saying, "I did my job, smiled through the chaos, and somehow survived it all." That single line exploded online, with audiences reading it as Gal quietly declaring, "I handled my part, don't drag me into her mess." The irony? Rachel Zegler had a perfect path to the Disney Golden Ticket. Play the role, flash your red carpet smiles, deliver a few slick sound bites, and let the Hollywood machinery work its magic. Instead, she went rogue. And not the fun, rebellious type of rogue that earns headlines for charisma. No, it was the kind that makes a marketing team quietly weep into their morning coffee. It all began with the Prince Charming remarks. In one interview, Rachel boldly labeled him a stalker and joked about how strange it was that Snow White falls for a man she barely knows. Is she technically wrong? Not really. But when your film is a Disney fairytale remake, maybe, just maybe, there's a line between critique and creating a PR nightmare. Lesson 1 for any Disney star: don't roast the crowds before the trailer even drops. And trust me, that wasn't even the worst part. The real shocker came when Rachel openly called the 1937 classic incredibly outdated and claimed that in her version, Snow White wouldn't be saved by the prince. Instead, she pitched it as a story of leadership and independence. On paper, it sounds empowering, but the delivery? That was the problem. Rachel didn't sound inspired. She sounded bored and irritated, like she was already checked out before the film even hit theaters. Fans noticed immediately. Clip after clip went viral on TikTok, not because anyone was hyped, but because people couldn't believe how ungrateful she seemed. The blow that really hit. Rachel admitted she never even liked the original story as a kid, calling it boring and weird. Imagine being the face of a $200 million remake and openly confessing that you didn't care for the source material. And here's the kicker. These interviews weren't casual chats, they were part of the official press tour meant to build excitement. Instead, they spiraled into viral PR disasters. The audience hadn't even seen the film yet, but thanks to these moments, the narrative was already out of Rachel's control. By the time audiences even saw Snow White, Their minds were already made up, and the next blow came with the box office numbers, which turned this story into a full-blown Hollywood meltdown. With a production budget edging close to $200 million once you included reshoots, marketing, and Disney's signature glossy post-production, the film needed a massive global turnout just to break even. Instead, it opened weak and kept sliding. To put it in perspective, other Disney live-action remakes set the bar sky-high. Aladdin raked in over $1 billion worldwide, Cinderella pulled a solid $500 million, and even The Jungle Book crushed expectations. Meanwhile, Snow White, the supposed crown jewel of the Disney princess universe, couldn't even come close. It was basically dead on arrival. Critics didn't offer any mercy either. Many slammed the film as soulless and confused about its identity. Gal Gadot got praise for clearly enjoying her role as the evil queen, but Rachel? She faced critiques labeling her flat, awkward, and miscast, a nightmare scenario for Disney, because when your lead collapses under scrutiny, the whole film suffers. Audience reactions were even harsher. Families walked out saying they'd rather rewatch the original cartoon. Yes, the very same classic Rachel publicly trashed. Some skipped the film entirely, openly stating they didn't want to support her after the comments she made. Critic backlash stings, but losing casual Disney fans, that's catastrophic. Many opted to stay home and watch Encanto for the 12th time instead. The timing couldn't have been worse. Disney's live-action strategy was already showing signs of fatigue, with too many remakes crowding the market. Snow White was supposed to be a safe bet, a return to the magic of the most iconic princess. Instead, it became a textbook example of how poor PR, messy press tours, and questionable creative choices can sink even the mightiest brand. And the kicker? Snow White didn't just stumble. It flat-out flopped. Rachel Zegler took the full force of the backlash, while Gal Gadot somehow glided through the chaos like she'd just stepped off a high-fashion runway, her reputation somehow even stronger than before. Gal has been around long enough to know how Hollywood works. She's carried franchises like Wonder Woman and mastered press tours without giving Twitter its next viral meme. While Rachel stumbled, making the movie seem like a burden mid-interview, Gal stayed cool, calculated, and professional. She praised the original story as magical, hyped the costumes and set design, and consistently stayed in character as the elegant evil queen. Off-screen and on, she played her roles perfectly. The villain on screen, the consummate professional off it. Fans noticed immediately. Memes started circulating, crowning Gal as the true star of Snow White, and her composure became the talk of social media. While one career stumbled, the other proved why experience and strategy matter just as much as talent in Hollywood's high-stakes game. Fans jokingly crowned Gal Gadot the real star of the movie, which is pretty ironic when you think about it. After all, the film is literally called Snow White. Yet somehow, Gal effortlessly stole the spotlight. For Disney, it was a mixed bag. On one hand, Gal's performance was the one aspect everyone could agree on. On the other, it exposed how disastrously Rachel's casting had backfired. The evil queen wasn't supposed to outshine Snow White, but here we are. As the press clips spread online, the internet did what it does best, turned it into a meme war. Rachel Zegler was clearly unprepared for the onslaught of online roasting. TikTok edits exploded, pairing her comments about the prince being a stalker or the original being outdated with clips of Gal smiling like she was on a Vogue cover. Gal got the elegant, composed treatment, while Rachel was framed as the grumpy star who didn't even want to be there. Brutal? Absolutely. But the side-by-side clips told the story better than any headline could. Fans didn't stop there. They began cropping Rachel out of promotional posters entirely, turning the narrative into a full-blown commentary on composure versus chaos. It became clear, in a battle of professionalism and PR savvy, experience won. And the internet made sure everyone saw it. Fans didn't stop at memes. They reimagined the promotional material, placing Gal front and center as if the movie were entirely hers. One viral edit even photoshopped the title card to read Evil Queen instead of Snow White. And it spread like wildfire. The reactions weren't just funny, they highlighted a real divide in how audiences respond to Disney leads. Take Halle Bailey, for example. When she was cast as Ariel in The Little Mermaid, she faced racist backlash, yet her grace and positivity on press tours won fans over. Rachel, on the other hand, didn't encounter external hate initially. She essentially created her own storm. In record time, she went from Golden Globe winner to public enemy of the Disney fandom. The online roasting was brutal, but the real consequences hit afterward. Studios began to side-eye Rachel, suddenly questioning the rising star they once hailed. It's striking, because not long before Snow White, she was the breakout lead in West Side Story, a Golden Globe winner, and widely expected to become Disney's next big darling. Then came the Snow White press tour disaster, and the narrative flipped overnight. Instead of being celebrated as a fresh young talent with boundless potential, Rachel suddenly became a cautionary tale about how PR missteps can derail even the brightest careers. Soon, Rachel began to be labeled difficult and ungrateful, and in Hollywood, those are career-killing words. Studios are not eager to pour hundreds of millions into a franchise if the lead is publicly trashing it. It's not just bad PR, it's bad business. Talent alone isn't enough at this level. Sure, Rachel can sing and act, no one disputes that, but Hollywood heavily rewards professionalism, or at least the appearance of it. Confidence is admirable, but when it contributes to the collapse of a $200 million film, applause quickly turns to whispers. Snow White was supposed to be Rachel Zegler's crowning achievement, the moment that cemented her as Disney's next superstar. Instead, it became a role that might haunt her for years. She entered as a rising star and left as the face of one of Disney's most infamous flops. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot navigated the same storm with effortless grace. She gave the press exactly what they wanted: charm, composure, and a performance that reminded everyone why experience matters. While one career stumbled, the other solidified her legacy, proving that sometimes, the real star isn't the one on the poster, it's the one who knows how to play the game. Gal Gadot gave the press exactly what they wanted, and slipped in that perfectly polite line, "I even enjoyed working with her," which landed like a masterclass in subtle shade. She walked away with her reputation intact and glowing, while fans quickly crowned her the real star of the movie, despite her role being the villain. It was the ultimate plot twist Disney never anticipated. Hundreds of millions were spent trying to revive their most iconic fairytale, and the studio ended up with a crash course in how not to let your lead derail the hype. If anything, the evil queen didn't just survive, she stole the entire story. So, what do you think? Was Gal Gadot just playing it classy, showing the kind of professional finesse that comes with years of experience, or was that perfectly measured line about Rachel Zegler a subtle dagger, carefully crafted to let the world know she knew exactly how to handle the chaos? It's the kind of statement that makes you pause and read between the lines, because in Hollywood, every word matters, especially when cameras and microphones are involved. Gal didn't raise her voice, didn't throw shade outright, and didn't make headlines for drama. She just delivered a compliment with an edge, leaving fans and insiders alike wondering if there was more to that smile than met the eye. This whole saga has been fascinating for so many reasons. On one level, it's classic celebrity drama. Two highly talented actresses in the same film, the pressures of a massive studio production, and the unavoidable spotlight that comes with leading a major franchise. But on another level, it's almost like a masterclass in PR, image control, and professional strategy. Gal's approach highlights how experience, timing, and a little subtlety can completely shift public perception. She wasn't just acting in the movie, she was performing on a much bigger stage, the court of public opinion. And in that arena, she won. Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler's missteps offer a cautionary tale for rising stars everywhere. One misjudged interview, a few ill-timed comments, and suddenly a career that seemed destined for the stratosphere was under intense scrutiny. Critics pounced, fans debated, and social media exploded. Clips of her questioning the original story, labeling Prince Charming a stalker, and calling the classic outdated spread like wildfire. Memes juxtaposing Rachel's irritation with Gal's composed elegance went viral almost instantly. In an instant, the narrative shifted. Gal was the cool, collected professional, and Rachel became the cautionary tale about how words and attitude can derail even the brightest careers. What makes this drama so addictive to follow is that it's not just about one movie or one role, it's about the mechanics of Hollywood itself. Studios spend hundreds of millions of dollars on production, marketing, and talent, and a single press tour can either build hype or destroy it. The Snow White remake, with its enormous budget and global expectations, was meant to be a crowning jewel, a safe bet for Disney. But because of the way interviews went, fan reactions, and social media memes, the film became a masterclass in how PR disasters happen in real time. It's fascinating to watch how quickly the narrative can pivot from celebration to scrutiny, and how even small comments, like Gal's perfectly delivered "I even enjoyed working with her," can dominate the conversation and define a star's image. And here's the thing, this drama isn't over after the box office numbers. People are still talking about it, dissecting every clip, and debating every interaction. Was Gal genuinely kind? Or was she sending a silent message to Rachel and the world? Did Rachel's blunt honesty reflect frustration, or was it a rookie mistake in navigating the Hollywood machine? Fans, critics, and industry insiders are still weighing in, and each new TikTok edit, meme, or discussion thread adds another layer to the story. This kind of ongoing conversation is rare. Most films fade from public memory after a few weeks, but Snow White, for better or worse, has become a cultural talking point far beyond the screen. So, seriously, what's your take? Do you think Gal Gadot's response was pure professionalism, or do you see it as a cleverly disguised dig? And when it comes to Rachel, do you think she simply miscalculated, or is this a sign of just how high the stakes are when you step into a Disney fairytale with millions watching your every move? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, watching this drama unfold is way more entertaining than the movie itself ever could be. And for those of you who live for celebrity commentary, industry tea, and dissecting every misstep or victory in the spotlight, you're in the right place. Hit like and subscribe, because there's always more to unpack. Hollywood is full of unpredictable turns, PR disasters, and moments of brilliance, and we'll be breaking down each one, scene by scene, comment by comment. This isn't just about Snow White, it's about how careers are made, unmade, and reshaped in real time. There's a lesson here for everyone who follows the industry, from aspiring actors to casual fans who just love a good story. So, stay tuned, because the next chapter is always just around the corner. Celebrities make headlines, fans react, and the internet remembers everything. And if you thought this Snow White saga was wild, trust me, it's only the beginning. The drama, the memes, the commentary, it's the perfect storm of modern Hollywood, and you won't want to miss a single moment of it.